Hey guys, it's Chelsa Messenger with Picks Parlays. We're talking NFL action. Eagles at Packers. College basketball is finally back and we've got a promo code. The code is BALL for 15% off the entire site at picksandparlays.net. The Packers are big favorites, minus 8.5. The total is 47. The Eagles are 3-7-1, 3-7-1 on the year and in their driver's seat for winning their division. But 4-7 against the number. Packers 8-3, 7-4 against the spread. The Eagles, of course, coming off that epic, if you had the Eagles, backdoor cover in prime time against the Seahawks, where they went for two, Hail Mary, the whole shebang. So we've got Dan Kaiser joining us. Dan, 8.5 points is a lot, but the Eagles look so terrible. And Carson Wentz, is not a quarterback that's blowing any doors off. So who do you like, or what's the play in this one?
You got two teams that are like total opposites, and both of them could win the division. Amazing. It's just kind of a screwy year again. The Packers, yeah, they're coming off a big win against the Bears. They look really good. Aaron Rodgers, MVP type season, 33 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. They got a running game. Devontae Adams is tearing up as wide receiver. Their other wide receivers playing pretty well. And then you got the Eagles, and what can you say about the Eagles? They 23-17, but again, as you pointed out, that game wasn't even that close. That Hail Mary two-point conversion. The only thing it did was cost some better $500,000, and you would think if you're gonna lay that kind of money, you would have bought the hook. I mean, if you can afford to spend that kind of money on a game, you'd buy the half a point. But the Eagles, they've lost 3 in a row. They got a minus 40-point differential. They're talking about benching the quarterback, getting rid of him at the end of the season. The owner doesn't want to be there. The owner leaves the game early, leaves practice. There's nothing going for him. That being said, I'm going to take the points in this one. Crazy how all these games can be turned just at the end. Like the game today, the Ravens game. That game was pretty much over, and they get a big touchdown, and they cover that one when they shouldn't. The Eagles cover against Seahawks when that was crazy. And it's a lot of points, and it's just one of those backdoor covers, late touchdown. It doesn't matter to anybody but the team, people that have money on it. So I've been burned laying the points in the last few weeks, the big points with the better team. So I think I'm going to take the crappy team and take the points in this one.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are learning that lesson this week because that's how the primetime games have gone. The Eagles covering and also the Ravens, who had like 15 or 25 people on the COVID list, still managed to cover in primetime. So that's something you've got to look at, is how big these point spreads are. And we're still talking about the NFL here. No matter how bad Carson Wentz seems to be, he still managed to cover. He has the most interceptions, sacks, and off-target incompletions in the NFL. He's been sacked 46 times. Yeah, that's terrible, but still, he covered. So you've got to look at that. And this Packers defense, not the greatest, but they have been better as of lately. So I think I'm staying away from this one just because my golden rule for betting is don't bet on the NFC East and any of those teams in that division, just because it's been so crazy for some of those teams. No matter how bad they are, some of them are still covering spreads. So anything else you're looking at in this one, maybe a total?
I'd play the over. I think the Packers can score points. The Eagles. Here's the thing about the Eagles. They could. I mean, they do have things where they can look pretty good, and the Packers are terrible against the run. So I mean, if worst comes to worst, they can hand the ball off 50 times a game, and that way they don't risk Wentz giving up the interception. Wentz is good for a pick six here or there. So I'd lean to the over in this one.
Or Wentz can run for it because actually he's been hitting his rushing props. If nothing else, he can't throw the ball, but at least he's been an effective runner at some points of the game. So something to look out for in this one, just because that Packers defense, not the greatest. And who knows, we might even see Jalen Hurts if he can figure out, where his helmet was, or he did some kind of boneheaded play where he wasn't back in the game. But who knows? I don't know why they're still playing Carson Wentz, but just another X factor to look at.
I think it's $120 million or something they own. That's why he's still playing.
I think you're exactly right. I think the front office is saying we're paying this guy too much money to have him on the bench. And at one time, he was a good quarterback. So who knows? Maybe he'll regain form at some point if he doesn't get booed off the field. If Phillies fans were there, I wish that they were there to see that one. I think that would have been hilarious. But that's going to do it for NFL Talk here on Picks and Parlays. As always, great stuff from Dan, the Professor Kaiser. Dan, thanks for joining us.